In this video, I want to go one step further and show you why tinnitus affects people so differently and how understanding your specific pattern can help you make progress much faster. Because once you see this clearly, a lot of the confusion and fear fades away. My name is Guy and I'm a hearing health and tinnitus coach. I myself lived with severe hearing loss and severe tinnitus for more than 15 years now. I now apply all my experience and all my knowledge to help other tinnitus sufferers. If at any point in this video it feels like I'm describing your situation, and you're tired of trying to figure this out on your own, I do offer free tinnitus strategy sessions. That's a one-on-one call where I take the time to understand your tinnitus, your triggers, your overall situation, and then help you create a personalized plan for relief based on all your details. One of the biggest sources of suffering that I see is comparison. People compare tinnitus like it's a one thing. So when someone else is saying, I have tinnitus and it doesn't bother me at all, you're immediately thinking, then what's wrong with me? You understand that tinnitus never exists in isolation. Tinnitus can be caused by your nervous system, your body, sleep, stress, and so on. It's really hard to compare tinnitus between people without taking all of that into account. It's simply unfair comparison. Now, I know this firsthand because this is the first thing I did when I started to research my own tinnitus. I used to compare myself to other people that said that their tinnitus doesn't bother them. And I was wondering, what am I doing wrong? It was just stressing me out and not really helping me find a solution that would work for me. But here is something that most people are never told. Tinnitus itself is not a disease, it's not a sickness. It's actually a symptom of something else happening in your system. For one person, tinnitus may be tied to their hearing loss. For another, it may be driven by stress, like a sleep or other conditions. And just to show you how complex tinnitus is, it can also originate from body tension. So things like TMJ, injuries in your neck, your shoulder, stress in your muscles can also cause tinnitus. Now here is the key point. If someone has tinnitus plus poor sleep plus stress plus physical tension, that's not worse tinnitus. That's a whole lot more stress on your system. More load means your system has less capacity to deal with all the sensations. And that includes tinnitus. This isn't weakness, it's physiology. The nervous system acts like a volume knob and a filter. When it's calm, tinnitus is filtered automatically. When it's overloaded or on high alert, tinnitus is amplified. Two people can experience the same tinnitus volume. One of them will treat it as irrelevant and unimportant, while the other person will treat it like an alert. Here's a simple example almost everyone is going to recognize. During the day, there's movement, conversation, noises around you. Even if tinnitus is present, the brain has plenty of things to focus on. At night, when everything goes quiet, tinnitus suddenly jumps to the front, not because the sound changed, but because the contrast changed, and the system is already tired. Nothing is wrong with you when that happens. That's just how stress nervous system works. This is why tinnitus feels worse during different phases of life. High stress, poor sleep, emotional overload, or ongoing physical stress. People say nothing changed, but suddenly it feels much louder. And that's kind of true. Nothing changed in your ears, but something definitely changed in your system. Let me share an example from my own life. When the COVID pandemic hit the world, as we all know, it created a lot of chaos. People lost jobs, financials were affected, Everything was changing. I was dealing with financial issues. Some of my family was affected by COVID. It was just very stressful times. And the result was that my tinnitus was spiked to the roof. That was a personal breaking point where I just couldn't just keep doing the same thing because tinnitus was completely consuming me. There is another loop that almost everyone fall into, especially early on. The fear of the tinnitus symptoms. When you first start experiencing tinnitus, it's frightening. You're not sure what's happening, and your fear leads to checking. Checking means that you notice the sound more. Noticing the sound more leads to more stress. Stress makes tinnitus feels louder, and louder perception leads to more fear and more worries. And now tinnitus is front and center all day long. The brain isn't doing this to hurt you. It's doing what it's designed to do when it thinks there's danger. The problem isn't the attention itself, it's the reaction to the sound. Once you stop reacting with fear and worries, that whole loop loosens. Some people have tinnitus alone. Others have tinnitus plus hyperacusis, which is sound sensitivity, TTTS, somatic triggers, and so on. This does not mean relief is impossible. It just means that your starting point is different than other people. And this is exactly why generic advice fail for so many people. One size fits all approaches ignore the reality of different systems and different loads. Here is the most important part that I really want you to hear. No matter the cause of tinnitus or the severity, your nervous system can adapt. Lasting tinnitus relief does not require silence, and it does not require forcing tinnitus away. It requires understanding why tinnitus behaves the way it is in your system. Then you can match the right tools to your situation. Using the right tools and techniques for you will get you relief faster. If you're not ready for one-on-one support, but you want to keep learning and connecting with other people that really understand, I have a small and free tinnitus community where I share much more information. There are free courses and a lot of free information that can help you on your tinnitus journey right now. If you're interested, you can find the link in the description below. If tinnitus feels unbearable for you, it does not mean you're broken. It means your system is overloaded, reactive, or stuck in a loop that holds your progress. Understanding why tinnitus is so different from person to person is often the first step to real relief. If you want to identify the correct tinnitus relief plan for you, watch this video over here. And if you want to avoid the most common tinnitus mistakes, watch this video over here. I'll see you in these videos.